Good morning. Today I want you to remember 5 simple words, words that can change the way you see the world and yourself. Words that, when repeated every morning, can help you face life with calm, strength, and clarity. I choose calm. These 3 words may seem simple, almost too simple, but they carry a power that can shape every moment of your life. Calm is not the absence of challenges or difficulties. It is the choice to meet those challenges with clarity and presence. Life will always present moments of stress, frustration, and uncertainty. People will act in ways that irritate you. Events will unfold beyond your control, and circumstances will often push against your plans. In these moments, you have a choice to react with anger, panic, or worry, or to pause, breathe, and choose calm. Choosing calm is not weakness, it is strength. It is the ability to recognize that while you cannot control what happens around you, you can control how you respond. Every situation that seems urgent or threatening loses its power the moment you decide to remain calm. Your mind becomes your anchor, and your clarity becomes your compass. Choosing calm requires awareness. Most of us move through the day automatically, reacting to events as they happen, letting emotions dictate our responses. But when you pause and tell yourself, "I choose calm," you interrupt that automatic reaction. You step out of the chaos and into a space where reason, patience, and perspective can guide your actions. Calm is not something you wait for to appear naturally. It is a conscious decision you make every time life tests you. When you feel anger rising, when fear grips your chest, when anxiety threatens to take over, remind yourself of this choice. It is a reminder that you are not powerless, that you are not at the mercy of circumstances, and that your mind can remain steady even when the world is unsteady. Choosing calm also transforms your perception of events. When you are calm, problems become smaller, solutions become clearer, and interactions with others become more thoughtful. You notice details you might have missed in a rush or in a storm of emotion. You respond instead of reacting. You listen instead of interrupting. You see instead of assuming. Calm allows you to act with intention, rather than being swept along by impulses. It gives you the space to weigh options, to consider consequences, and to act in alignment with your values rather than your emotions. The act of choosing calm is not a one-time decision. It is a practice, repeated countless times in a single day. Each moment presents an opportunity to choose how you will respond. You will be tested by small inconveniences, by disagreements, by delays, and by failures. In each of these moments, you can take a breath, center yourself, and say, "I choose calm." This repetition strengthens your mind, trains your responses, and builds resilience. Over time, choosing calm becomes a habit, a natural state, a lens through which the world appears less chaotic and more manageable. Calm is also contagious. When you choose calm, you influence the environment around you. Others sense your steadiness, your patience, and your measured presence. Your calm can diffuse tension, encourage rational discussion, and create an atmosphere where solutions are possible. By choosing calm, you not only stabilize your own mind, but also contribute to the stability of those around you. It is an act of self-mastery and of leadership, even in ordinary interactions. Choosing calm is a declaration of control over your inner world. It is an assertion that you will not be dictated by anger, fear, or anxiety. You are the master of your mind, and your choices determine the quality of your life. It is the recognition that the external world will always be unpredictable, but your response can be deliberate. Choosing calm empowers you to navigate challenges with wisdom and composure, to face adversity with strength, and to move through life with intention. I accept what is. These words are simple, but they hold a profound power to transform your life. Acceptance does not mean resignation or weakness. It does not mean giving up on improvement or ignoring injustice. Acceptance is the recognition of reality as it exists in the present moment, without unnecessary resistance, without adding suffering through complaint or denial. The world unfolds with events beyond your control. People act in ways that may disappoint or frustrate you. Circumstances change suddenly, plans fail, and the outcomes of your efforts are often uncertain. In this reality, the mind can either resist or accept. Resistance creates tension, anxiety, and frustration, while acceptance brings clarity, peace, and the ability to act effectively. To accept what is to acknowledge the truth of the moment, to see clearly without distorting it with your desires, fears, or illusions. Acceptance begins with awareness. Most of us spend much of our lives wishing things were different, trying to force outcomes, and fighting against what cannot be controlled. Every failed expectation, every delayed goal, every mistake becomes a source of pain because we refuse to see things as they are. When you remind yourself, "I accept what is," you shift your focus from what you cannot change to what you can influence. You stop wasting energy on anger, regret, and frustration. You see the world with clear eyes. Acceptance allows you to recognize which parts of life are within your control and which are not, and it gives you the wisdom to act where action matters and to let go where it does not. Accepting what is also transforms your relationship with yourself. You stop blaming yourself for events that are beyond your power. You stop judging your feelings for arising naturally in response to challenges. You allow yourself to experience the moment fully without resistance, understanding that emotions are signals, not commands. When disappointment or fear appears, acceptance allows you to notice it, to understand it, and to move forward without letting it control you. By accepting what is, you stop fighting yourself as much as you stop fighting the world. You gain the freedom to respond with clarity and purpose. Acceptance is not passive. It is not giving up on action, growth, or improvement. On the contrary, it is the foundation for effective action. When you resist reality, you are trapped in illusion, reacting without clarity. When you accept reality, you see it clearly, understand it, and can make choices based on truth. Acceptance allows you to act wisely rather than impulsively. It turns obstacles into challenges to overcome, failures into lessons to learn from, and limitations into opportunities to adapt. The act of acceptance strengthens the mind because it cultivates patience, perspective, and resilience. Accepting what is also changes your experience of suffering. Much of human suffering comes not from events themselves but from the refusal to accept them. Pain, loss, and difficulty are natural parts of life, and resistance only magnifies their impact. When you accept what is, suffering becomes manageable. It does not disappear, but it no longer dominates your mind or dictates your actions. You gain the ability to face hardship with steadiness, to endure without bitterness, and to navigate challenges with reason rather than emotion. Acceptance is a daily practice. Every morning and every night, every moment, you are presented with reality as it is. You can complain, resist, and wish it were different, or you can accept it. By choosing acceptance repeatedly, you train your mind to see clearly, to respond wisely, and to find peace even amid difficulty. Acceptance is not easy, especially when faced with events that hurt or confuse you, but it is essential for clarity, freedom, and strength. I control myself. These words are a reminder of the power that lies within, a power that no one else can take from you. You cannot always control what happens around you. The world is unpredictable, full of events, people, and circumstances beyond your command. Yet, one thing is always within your control: your mind, your thoughts, your actions, and your reactions. To control yourself is to take full responsibility for your life, to recognize that your choices shape your character, your emotions, and your destiny. Every decision you make, no matter how small, reflects whether you are a master of yourself or a slave to impulses, habits, and external pressures. Controlling yourself begins with awareness. Many people drift through life, allowing emotions, desires, and external events to dictate their behavior. Anger, fear, and frustration become automatic responses because no one has trained the mind to pause and choose. When you remind yourself, "I control myself," you create a space between stimulus and response. You notice the rising tension, the impulse to react, the urge to complain or blame, and you step back. In that moment, you reclaim your freedom. You decide how to respond, not react, and your mind becomes the instrument of reason and purpose, rather than chaos and habit. Self-control is not suppression. It is not pretending that emotions do not exist or denying natural impulses. It is understanding them, observing them, and choosing which impulses to act upon. Fear may arise, but you do not have to surrender to it. Anger may flare, but you do not have to lash out. Desire may tempt you, but you do not have to follow it blindly. Control is the mastery of the inner world, where every thought, choice, and action aligns with your values rather than external pressures. By controlling yourself, you ensure that your actions reflect who you want to be, not who circumstances demand you to be. Control over yourself also means discipline. Habits, routines, and consistent effort are the building blocks of character. Every day presents opportunities to exercise this control, to choose patience over irritation, wisdom over haste, courage over fear, and integrity over compromise. These small, repeated choices accumulate into strength, resilience, and freedom. Without self-control, the mind becomes scattered, distracted by every emotion and every external influence. With self-control, the mind becomes steady, focused, and capable of navigating even the most turbulent situations with clarity and composure. Controlling yourself affects your relationships and interactions with the world. When you act with self-mastery, you do not allow others to provoke you. You do not speak harshly out of anger, react out of fear, or act out of impatience. Your presence becomes stabilizing rather than chaotic. Others may act unpredictably, unfairly, or wrongly, but your mind remains anchored. By controlling yourself, you not only improve your own life, but you also influence the world around you, setting an example of reason, calm, and integrity. Control of yourself also brings freedom. It frees you from being a prisoner of circumstance, opinion, or emotion. You are no longer tossed about by the winds of life, swayed by every insult, slight, or setback. You have the power to choose your responses, to focus on what matters, and to cultivate a life guided by purpose rather than distraction. The more you practice self-control, the stronger this freedom becomes, until it becomes a natural way of being, a steady center from which you approach the world. To control yourself is to claim ownership of your mind and your life. It is the recognition that nothing external can dictate your inner state unless you allow it. It is the commitment to live intentionally, to act deliberately, and to shape your character through conscious choices, rather than impulsive focus now. These words are a reminder that the present moment is the only moment you truly own, the only time in which action, thought, and change are possible. The past is gone, and no matter how much you regret or remember it, you cannot alter it. The future is uncertain, and no matter how much you plan or worry, it remains unknown. All that exists is this moment, and by focusing on it, you take full command of your attention, your energy, and your life. To focus now is to direct your mind entirely to what is in front of you, to give your full presence to the task, the thought, or the action at hand. It is the practice of awareness, discipline, and intention. Focusing now begins with attention. Most people live scattered, their minds pulled in countless directions, distracted by regrets, fears, and endless what-ifs. They plan too much, worry too much, and miss the only moment they can truly act. When you say, "I focus now," you call yourself back to the present. You acknowledge that no other time matters more than this one. You center your mind, clearing away distractions, doubts, and unnecessary thoughts, so that your energy flows fully into the now. This focus is not mere concentration, it is presence, mindfulness, and engagement with life as it is happening. Focus now requires discipline. The mind naturally drifts, wandering into memories, anxieties, or fantasies. Training the mind to return to the present moment is like training a muscle. It takes effort, repetition, and patience. Each time you notice that your mind has wandered, you gently bring it back to the task, the thought, or the reality of this moment. This repeated practice strengthens your ability to live intentionally rather than reactively, to act deliberately rather than passively, and to direct your life instead of being swept along by circumstance. Focusing now also shapes your effectiveness. When your attention is scattered, mistakes happen, opportunities are missed, and your energy dissipates. When your attention is concentrated fully on the present, your actions become precise, efficient, and meaningful. Problems that seemed overwhelming shrink in the clarity of focus. Decisions become easier, solutions more apparent, and tasks more manageable. Focusing now allows you to respond with wisdom rather than impulse, to work with patience rather than haste, and to create results that reflect your true capability. Focus now transforms the mind's relationship with time. Many people suffer because they live either in the past, wishing to change what has already happened, or in the future, worrying about what may come. Both habits steal energy from the present, leaving life fragmented and stressful. By focusing on this moment, You reclaim your power over time. You act where it matters, invest your energy wisely, and cultivate a sense of peace that comes from knowing you are doing what can be done now. The present becomes your domain, and within it, you hold the power to act, to create, and to grow. Focusing now also cultivates clarity of thought. The mind loses its confusion when attention is concentrated. Thoughts that previously seemed overwhelming become organized. Emotions that cloud judgment become manageable. In the present moment, distractions fade, and you see what is important with precision. This clarity allows you to make decisions based on reason and truth rather than fear, impulse, or habit. Focus now is also a practice of commitment. Every day presents countless chances to let the mind wander, to procrastinate, or to scatter attention. Every choice to return to the present strengthens your mastery over yourself. With repeated effort, focus becomes a habit, a natural way of approaching every action, every thought, and every challenge. By focusing now, you embrace the reality of life as it exists, giving your full energy and attention to what you can influence. It is the recognition that true power lies not in wishing for the past or fearing the future, but in fully inhabiting the moment you have been given and making it matter with your presence, your thought, and your action. I do good. These words are a reminder that every action, no matter how small, shapes your character, your mind, and the world around you. Doing good is not about seeking praise, recognition, or reward. It is about living in alignment with what is right, just, and meaningful. Life presents endless opportunities to act, and the choice of how to act defines who you are. Every thought, word, and deed carries weight. When you remind yourself, I do good, you commit to acting with integrity, courage, and kindness, regardless of circumstance or consequence. Doing good begins within, as your inner intentions shape your outer actions. Doing good requires awareness. It demands that you notice the world around you, that you recognize moments where your choices can help, support, or improve a situation. It is easy to move through life unconsciously, focused only on your desires, comforts, or fears. But the practice of doing good requires presence, attention, and discernment. It asks that you see clearly, consider carefully, and act deliberately. Each decision becomes an opportunity to exercise virtue, to align your behavior with your values, and to contribute positively to the world. Doing good also means acting consistently, not only when it is convenient or rewarding. True goodness is revealed in moments of challenge, when acting rightly requires patience, sacrifice, or courage. Helping someone in need, speaking the truth when it is difficult, offering kindness when others are unkind. These are the acts that strengthen character and cultivate a meaningful life. It is not the magnitude of the act that matters most, but the intention behind it and the courage to act according to principle. Every small action accumulates, creating a foundation of strength, honor, and trust that defines your life. Doing good transforms your mind and heart. When you act with integrity and kindness, you cultivate a sense of purpose and alignment within yourself. You reduce the inner conflict that comes from acting against your principles. You build confidence and clarity, knowing that your actions are guided by what is right rather than by impulse, convenience, or fear. Good actions reinforce good habits, and good habits shape a life of stability, resilience, and inner peace. Your mind becomes a source of thoughtful action, and your heart becomes steady, compassionate, and wise. Doing good is not dependent on the response of others. People may ignore, misunderstand, or even oppose your efforts, yet the value of your actions remains unchanged. Doing good is an internal practice, a discipline of character that does not rely on recognition or reward. When you act rightly, the effect is immediate on yourself. You strengthen your own mind and shape your own life. The impact on others may be seen or unseen, appreciated or unnoticed, but the true measure of your actions lies in your intention and your consistency. Doing good also creates ripples in the world. Acts of kindness, honesty, courage, and wisdom influence others, inspiring them to act similarly. By choosing to do good, you become part of a network of action that spreads strength, integrity, and calm through your environment. Every day offers countless opportunities to influence someone positively, whether through a word, a gesture, or an example. In this way, your commitment to doing good multiplies far beyond what you may ever see or understand. Doing good requires courage and self-discipline. It is easy to follow the crowd, to seek comfort, or to act out of fear or selfishness. Choosing to do good may demand patience, effort, and sacrifice. It may require you to resist anger, ignore insult, or act when others are passive. Yet these moments are precisely where the practice of doing good shapes character, develops resilience, and cultivates the mind's strength. When you commit to doing good consistently, it becomes a guiding principle, a daily practice, and a source of clarity. It aligns thought and action, intention and behavior, creating a life that is coherent, purposeful, and meaningful. It is a path of strength, peace, and influence, grounded in the knowledge that your choices matter, that your actions shape your mind, and that your life can leave a positive mark on the world. Thoughts shape reality. These words are simple, yet they hold the key to understanding the power of the mind. The world around you is influenced by countless forces beyond your control, but your inner world is yours alone. Your thoughts, beliefs, and interpretations shape how you experience every situation, how you react to challenges, and how you perceive yourself and others. Life does not act upon you in isolation, it interacts with the lens of your mind. When your thoughts are clear, disciplined, and focused on what is true and meaningful, your perception of the world becomes aligned with reality. When your thoughts are chaotic, negative, or uncontrolled, the world feels overwhelming, unfair, or impossible. The way you think about events, people, and challenges creates your experience of reality. Understanding that thoughts shape reality begins with awareness. Many people live as though the mind is a passive observer, reacting automatically to events without noticing the influence of their own interpretations. Anger, fear, jealousy, and doubt often arise not from the events themselves but from the way the mind interprets them. By paying attention to your thoughts, questioning their accuracy, and consciously choosing what to dwell on, you gain control over your inner experience. Thoughts are like seeds. What you plant in your mind grows into feelings, actions, and ultimately, the circumstances of your life. If you cultivate clarity, patience, and reason, your inner life flourishes. If you allow fear, resentment, and confusion to dominate, your life becomes unsettled and reactive. Thoughts shape reality because they guide action. Every action begins with a thought, and the quality of your actions depends on the quality of your thinking. When you focus on positive, constructive, and rational thoughts, your choices reflect those qualities. You act with intention, courage, and purpose. When your thoughts are uncontrolled or negative, your actions follow impulsively, creating mistakes, misunderstandings, and conflict. Mastery of the mind begins with mastery of thought. By cultivating thoughts that are disciplined, reasonable, and aligned with your principles, you shape a reality that supports growth, peace, and success. Your beliefs also shape your perception of reality. Two people may face the same event, yet experience it in completely different ways based on their beliefs and expectations. One may see an obstacle as a threat, another as an opportunity. One may feel anger, another acceptance. The mind interprets, judges, and colors every experience. By controlling your thoughts and beliefs, you influence not only your feelings but also your actions, your resilience, and your ability to navigate challenges. The same circumstances can lead to despair or strength, confusion or clarity, depending on the nature of your thinking. Thoughts shape reality because they influence relationships and interactions. How you interpret the behavior of others, how you speak to them, and how you act in response is guided by your inner thoughts. Negative, judgmental, or reactive thoughts often create tension, conflict, and misunderstanding. Clear, compassionate, and rational thoughts foster cooperation, trust, and harmony. By consciously choosing your thoughts, you influence not only your own experience, but also the environment around you. This principle requires constant practice. The mind is naturally inclined to wander, to react, and to assume. Training your thoughts to be deliberate, constructive, and aligned with reason is a daily effort. Each moment presents the choice to nurture helpful, disciplined thoughts or to fall into the habits of distraction, complaint, and fear. Repeated practice strengthens the mind, turning awareness and intention into a natural way of perceiving the world. Thoughts shape reality because they are the lens through which life is experienced. They are the foundation of perception, emotion, action, and character. By choosing, cultivating, and directing your thoughts with care, you shape not only your inner world, but also the way you live, the decisions you make, and the life you create for yourself. Difficulties are opportunities. These words remind us that every challenge, obstacle, and setback carries within it a hidden chance for growth, strength, and wisdom. Life is not a path of ease, it is filled with unexpected twists, hardships, and moments that test your patience, courage, and resilience. When difficulties arise, the mind naturally reacts with fear, frustration, or despair. Yet, these same moments, if approached with clarity and reason, become the most powerful opportunities for development. The trials you face are not punishments or random misfortunes. They are the training ground of character, the forge in which resilience, discipline, and understanding are strengthened. Seeing difficulties as opportunities begins with perspective. Most people view challenges as threats to avoid or problems to escape. This reaction is natural, but it often leads to wasted energy, anxiety, and inaction. When you shift your view and say, difficulties are opportunities, you begin to interpret hardship differently. Instead of seeing a problem as a roadblock, you see it as a lesson. Instead of fearing failure, you see it as a chance to learn and improve. Every difficulty contains information about your limits, your habits, and your choices. By examining challenges with curiosity and reason rather than panic or complaint, you extract wisdom and discover ways to grow stronger and wiser. Difficulties also teach patience and self-control. When events do not go according to plan, when obstacles arise, and when circumstances challenge you, the mind often demands immediate reaction or quick relief. The practice of seeing difficulties as opportunities allows you to pause, reflect, and respond intentionally. Patience grows as you recognize that not all things are within your control, that life unfolds according to its own rhythm, and that true mastery comes from steady, deliberate action rather than impulsive reaction. Self-control emerges as you choose reason over emotion, action over complaint, and learning over resistance. Every difficulty is an opportunity to strengthen your character. When faced with hardship, you are presented with a choice to succumb to frustration, fear, or despair, or to rise with courage, persistence, and reason. Your response to difficulty reveals who you are and shapes who you become. Each challenge you overcome adds a layer of resilience. Each obstacle you navigate refines your judgment, and each setback you endure builds the mental and emotional strength necessary to face future trials. Difficulties are not just tests, they are teachers that demand courage, patience, and wisdom. Seeing difficulties as opportunities also enhances creativity and problem-solving. When life presents obstacles, the mind is challenged to think in new ways, to adapt and to innovate. A problem that seems limiting becomes a chance to develop skills, explore alternatives, and discover solutions you may never have considered in easier circumstances. By embracing difficulties as opportunities, you turn struggle into a source of insight, strategy, and resourcefulness. This principle requires practice. The mind naturally resists discomfort and seeks ease. Training yourself to see every difficulty as an opportunity requires repeated effort, awareness, and discipline. It is a daily choice to look beyond immediate frustration and fear, and to seek the hidden potential for growth in every situation. Over time, this habit transforms the way you approach life. Challenges no longer dominate your mind with stress or fear. Instead, they become the stepping stones of improvement, resilience, and strength. Difficulties are opportunities because they reveal what truly matters. They expose weaknesses that need attention, strengths that need cultivation, and principles that require steadfastness. They force reflection, deliberate action, and careful judgment. By embracing this mindset, you turn obstacles into teachers, adversity into guidance, and hardship into progress. Consistency builds strength. These words remind us that true power, resilience, and mastery are not born from occasional effort or bursts of motivation, but from steady, repeated action over time. Life rewards those who act with persistence, discipline, and regularity, even in the smallest matters. Every habit, every practice, and every choice, when repeated consistently, accumulates into something far greater than a single effort could achieve. Strength, whether mental, emotional, or physical, is forged not in sudden displays of willpower, but in the daily commitment to show up, act with intention, and follow through on your principles. Consistency begins with small, deliberate actions. The mind often seeks immediate results, believing that greatness or change can happen instantly. Yet lasting strength comes from doing what is necessary every day, even when progress feels invisible. It is waking up each morning and choosing to act according to your values, to focus on what matters, and to continue your practice despite distractions or temptations. Over time, these small efforts compound, creating a foundation of resilience, skill, and character. The consistency of your actions shapes your habits, and your habits shape your life. Consistency also builds mental strength. The mind is like a muscle. It grows stronger with repeated use, challenge, and discipline. Each day that you practice patience, self-control, focus, or courage, you reinforce those qualities, making them natural and enduring. When difficulties arise, consistent practice allows the mind to respond calmly and wisely, rather than react impulsively or fall into fear. Mental strength does not come from a single act of courage, but from the repeated exercise of reason, reflection, and deliberate action. The more consistently you train your mind, the more resilient it becomes, able to withstand challenges, uncertainty, and pressure. Consistency creates momentum. Life is full of tasks, responsibilities, and goals that require effort over time. One act of effort may seem small or insignificant, but repeated consistently, it generates a force that carries you forward. Habits form, skills improve, and progress accumulates. Even setbacks lose their power when consistency is maintained, because the steady rhythm of effort ensures that a single failure cannot undo what has been built. Strength is not about perfection, it is about persistence, returning to action day after day, and trusting the process of gradual growth. Consistency also shapes character. It teaches reliability, patience, and integrity. When you commit to acting consistently according to your values, you demonstrate to yourself and others that you are trustworthy, disciplined, and purposeful. Character is not revealed in extraordinary moments alone, but in the everyday choices to act rightly, to persevere, and to uphold your principles regardless of difficulty or reward. The repeated practice of virtue strengthens not only your abilities, but also the quality of your life, your relationships, and your influence on the world. Consistency builds strength because it overcomes the mind's natural tendency toward distraction, laziness, and short-term thinking. Motivation fluctuates, inspiration fades, circumstances change. Only consistent effort can bridge the gap between intention and achievement. By showing up every day, even when it is difficult or uncomfortable, you train your mind and body to endure, adapt, and improve. Over time, this consistency creates habits that no longer rely on willpower alone, making strength a natural part of who you are. This principle applies to all areas of life: thought, action, learning, relationships, and personal growth. Every decision to practice patience, kindness, discipline, or focus consistently strengthens the mind, builds skill, and shapes character. Every choice can act with intention, repeated day after day, compounds into lasting power, resilience, and mastery. Consistency is the bridge between effort and result, between potential and achievement, and between intention and transformation.